Hello everyone. So in this video I'm gonna show you how you can deploy a monstack application on an EC2 instance. So in my case it's NextJS in the front end, and in general it's monstack. And let me show you the application. So this is what it looks like. I have deployed it on the EC2 instance, as you can see, and it works fine. So let's get started now. So the first thing that you need to do is to go to your console, AWS console, and search for EC2. And from here you can find instances. Click on launch instance and search for Ubuntu. So we're going to deploy it on Ubuntu server, and let's get to it. Now you need to click check in the type of the instance that you need to work on. For me, I have already tried with the free tier one, the micro one, and it doesn't really work with the build. When you do npm run build, it doesn't build the client and crashes the entire instance, so it's not really good for that. And I have got my credits on my account, so I'll be using t2.small, but it's up to you. All the t2.small has its own pricing, but macro won't really work if you're building a medium size application or something like that. At storage we can give like 12, or if it's 8, if it's all right. Add tags we don't need. Now we're gonna add some rules like HTTP. Where is HTTP? Yeah, and HTTPS. Review launch. So it shows that it is in another free usage tier. It's all right, and I'm gonna launch it. Now it's gonna show something like that. You need to create a new key pair. That's gonna download a PM file. Let's name it EC2 dot tutorial. All right, let's download it. Now launch it. All right, so it's getting launched. All right, it's up. Now we need to set up our SSH. And set up your SSH. The name is EC2, and the default user is Ubuntu. And you need to grab your public IP address and paste it. Type yes, and you can see that you have been shown a warning. And for Windows users, you go to the PM file, right click, go to properties, go to security, advanced. Now here you click on disable inheritance, click on this, and you remove this, apply. Okay. Now if you do it again, so we are in, it's done. And now let me show you my folder structure. So this what the actual project looks like. It has server and client, and these are two separate repositories that I've created, that my instance would be pulling code from: a client folder and a server folder. And clone my client folder. So I've added I'll be placing the entire client repository in this in a folder named client. And let me do the same with the server one. All right. Now you need to install some stuff like nodejs, nginx, and so on. Let's get started. And this is from the official AWS docs about how to install nodejs on your instance. Let me grab these commands, paste, and let's check whether it's correctly installed. All right, so it's done. And by the way, never do something like sudo npm and so on, because it messes the entire system. I mistakenly tried with in sudo, and it was messed up, so never do that. Npm and sudo. So let me install nginx. And now I need to go to this folder and open this default file on vim or something like that. So we're using vim now. Now in this vim, you need to press I to get into insert mode, and you need to replace the default location with these. So use your arrow keys to move down. So here is the default location. Let's comment it out. And paste the new one. Alright, so it's done. Click on escape, colon wq. So it's done. Now let us check whether it's the configuration files has been correctly defaulted. So it's okay, successful. Let's restart nginx. Now it's time for you to create your environment variables. So of course, environment variables do not get uploaded to git. If you want, you can do that. You need to change your stuff over here. So um, let me create in environment variables. For me it's .env .local for the client, I. So I took my env file from my local machine, and let's paste it here. Escape, colon wq. Let's go to server. Let's do the same for server. Let me get up my env. So I got my env. Let me paste it. Escape, colon wq. So now let me install mongo. Now check the status of mongodb with this. Alright, so it's active, it's running. Let me check on the databases. Go to mongo, show dbs, and now you need to use the database that you have been using for your project. From me it's course fry. So it has been switched to it. Let me exit now. All right, so now it's time for installing the node modules. All right, so it's done now. So we need to install something like forever or pm2 so that the client gets turned up every time as well as server, and we do not need to do manually. So right now if I do something like, so it's been connected but it won't be happening every time, so we need something like to keep on active forever. We can install pm2. Oh, by the way, do not do sudo. Now let's get to server. Let's run start server. It's running. Let me just check. Should give something like bad gateway or something. Grab this IP. Yeah, bad gateway. uh, Let me just go to API. Cannot get API slash courses is my endpoint, and it's connected to the database. Now time for the client to get set up. So before we start with pm2 in client, we need to build the client. So as you can see, we have built the client, and now let me just restart it. And time for starting up the client. So it's running. Let me just check. This was our instance, and voila, it's working. It's up, it's running, everything's working well. So it's done.